Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Esther Emmanuel, your favorite special need coach. I'm so happy to be with us today. So today I'm going to be talking to our wonderful educators, our teachers, our professionals out there. Yes, I know that in this part of the world where I am, schools are resuming now. Some had resumed last week and so, but it's that time where we are, in our classroom with our kids, trying to figure out what to do, how to help them. It's a whole lot this season. So I just said, let me do this video to also encourage and help us in our journey for this term. So thank you so much today. I actually know just how your heart, your energy, and your dedication is as you pour, all of this into your classroom every single day. Trust me, I know from experience. I know that teaching diverse groups of learners in your classroom can be both a beautiful privilege and also a unique challenge. I am aware of that. So if you ever feel a little overwhelmed, or trying to figure out how to best support, your students in classroom in a mainstream, you're not alone. Now, I am going to be majoring more on how to support kids with special need in a mainstream classroom. Yes, in a mainstream class. Trust me, being a special needs coordinator, I have a lot of experience in this. I've been a learning support teacher for a while, so I know how this works. I know it can be overwhelming, but yeah, the great news is that you don't need to completely redesign your entire curriculum before you can make, significant impact, especially with those kids with special needs in your classroom. Small intentional adjustments, can make a whole world of difference if you're intentional. Trust me, if you're interested, now just trying to make the child feel seen, the child feel supported and capable, that goes a long way. So today we're going to be looking at three things, three simple but highly effective accommodations you can start using right away in your mainstream classroom. But before I dive in, I'll be right back. Okay, so let's start with our first strategy. I told you I'm going to be sharing three, right? The first one is using visual schedules, and task chunking is very important. Now, transition and multi-step instruction can be incredibly overwhelming, for children with maybe they have processing differences, children with learning differences, children with special need in the classroom. So when a child does not know what to expect in your class, or the child does not know what is happening when, just start seeing different teachers coming in, different things just happen without them being aware of the transition, it can create anxiety. It makes it hard for them to focus. You understand? So what do? The simple fix here is to use visual timetable. I know most of us have timetables in our class. Growing up, we used to have this timetable in our classroom. We write it at one corner of the board, right? And then we write this one, PE, so time. Yeah, I know some of us as parents experience that. But right now in school, if you go to our modern schools now, you hardly see timetable displayed, right there. The teacher only have the timetable, especially in lower grade. Upper grade, maybe secondary school, they might have something like that. But for primary school, you hardly see something like that. But I think we should encourage it. Just dedicate one corner of your classroom and create a visual schedule. Now, make it more fun, make it more creative. You don't have to only be in text. It could be in text and pictures. You understand? Just let it be, you can mix text and pictures together and just put it in those columns so that a child with special need knows what comes next. Do you understand? So that is it. And before you transition into any section or any program or subject, the child knows, you have to announce it. You have to let, now we are done with mathematics, we are going into literacy. It's literacy time. For that child with special need in your classroom, you can even call the child out to take out, literacy and put mathematics, if mathematics is the next, or something like that. Just make sure that there's this awareness. Do you understand? The strategy around it, the creative, ways of doing it, it all depends on you. I trust the creativity God has given to you as a teacher. Yeah, because I know if you're not creative, being a teacher, you might struggle, but I know that. So just be creative about it. But this little thing alone can reduce meltdown, can reduce anxiety. Trust me on this. Trust me. So number two strategy we're going to do. But before I say that, if you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? If you have not shared these videos that you enjoy, why? Let people enjoy these tips that I'm sharing. I'm sure it will make a whole lot of difference. So please subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button right now. All right. So thank you. Let's go to number two. So the second strategy, right? The second strategy is embracing the multisensory engagement. I always say this every time. I always say this every child with different every child learns differently, and the way information comes in differently. We learn differently. Even as adults, we do learn differently. Some learn best by listening, some learn by looking, while some people learn through movement, hands-on. Do you understand? So as a teacher, what do? Don't rely on one style. Don't rely on just, let me just write it, let me just say it. Combine everything, combine all, because you have various wonderful kids in your classroom, and they learn differently. So if you use one approach, what happens to the other people that learned in this other approach? Do you understand? So that's why you have to learn to teach using the multisensory engagement. So to accommodate this, try to weave at least two sensory approaches in your core lessons. Make sure you put in at least two, at least, so that means you have more. Do you understand? So when you're explaining, it may be a new concept verbally, make sure that you add visual aids. Don't just explain a new, especially on Mondays, that's when new concepts are introduced, right? Use charts, use diagram, use videos, use graphic organizers, use physical, in whatever hands-on materials you can just use to buttress what you are explaining. It helps a lot. It goes a long way. In mathematics, use counters. I mean, I know teachers, if you see a teacher's bag, you will know this is a teacher, but by the time you open the bag, you see different hands-on things. I'm sure some people would know, because if you open my bag, I don't want to show you my backpack. If you open my backpack, you will know I'm a teacher. You see every hands-on thing, okay? So it really helps. It goes a long way. So use the multisensory engagements, all right? Last point I'm going to be making is dedicate a quiet space, okay, in your classroom. Try and see how you can rearrange your classroom to dedicate a place for quiet space, or maybe another classroom. You understand? It's always good to have it, because you have children with special needs. They need to regulate. Sometimes a whole lot of things around the classroom, the environmental input can be too much for them, and they have sensory overload, so they need to unwind. So give them that space to unwind. Give them that space. Is very important. So if you can do these three things, you will be able to manage kids with special needs in your classroom, and you'll be that star teacher that every parent want their children to be in your classroom. So please remember that all these small shifts create an inclusive environment. I always talk about inclusion. You don't have to reject that child with special need in your school. You just have to create these little things, and it will make a whole lot of difference. I hope I've helped someone today. Thank you very much for following. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Till next time on my channel. Bye for now.